you are 15th in our bracket challenge. Your final four: Arizona, Gonzaga, Kentucky, and Wisconsin. How do you explain yourself, Jay?
Well, there's one area where I was right, Dan, and that is before the tournament started, I had said that there was nobody truly powerful this year like we had last year with Gonzaga and Baylor. So I felt like there was going to be some volatility, but I think I said there were 8 teams only that could win this thing, and that was it. And there are a bunch of teams that can get through their bracket, get to an Elite Eight. That can happen. Now, did I see St. Peter's coming? No. And would I have like if they replayed that, if they put that back on the board, Kentucky St. Peter's, and I knew the outcome, I still might take Kentucky because it seems so crazy that would happen. But I really believe that our Sweet 16 this year was 13 power conference teams, Gonzaga and Houston both in the Final Four last year, and the only real little guy was St. Peter's. And so while we were celebrating St. Peter's, and we'll always remember that and always celebrate it, you know, the idea that it's that anybody can win this thing, anybody can win a game, and anybody can get through a bracket if something happens in your bracket. But winning the whole thing is a different ball game, and I think we see that in the Final Four that we have.
Yeah, because I've said this before that we sort of love those stories. We love the madness, but it's really hard to win 6 consecutive games unless you play in a conference where you're playing tough opponents every single night and you're going to go against different styles. St. Peter's a wonderful team, and they were sort of creating, you know, the atmosphere that you had to adapt to them. But, you know, eventually you're going to run into these teams. I mean, North Carolina, that's a damn good team, and I think we missed the headline when they beat North Carolina or beat Duke at Duke with Coach K's last game, because I came away going, nobody's talking about North Carolina's performance. They're talking about how could Duke lose at home. For those who haven't seen North Carolina, how would you explain that?
Well, as you know, they have a new coach this year, Hubert Davis. His first year as a head coach, but he's 50 years old and has been in the game forever, and he's got crazy experience in basketball. And I think early on, they had a different way of playing than Carolina's played in the past. It's more a spread offense, a lot of ball screens, pick and roll stuff, pick and pop stuff. And they've got a stretch 4 in Brady Manick, who transferred in from Oklahoma, who knocks down threes. So it's not the traditional Carolina team that pounds you inside with 2 traditional low post guys, and they pound the glass. And people seem to forget that Carolina, they got into the tournament last year, but Wisconsin blew their doors off in the first round. I mean, they beat them by like 30. So it wasn't like Hubert Davis inherited this great team. So early on, they struggled. And when they played really good teams like Purdue, Tennessee, Villanova, they got beat bad, like 20-point losses. And at one point in their losses, they were giving up over 90 points a game. And it was probably toward the end of January, Dan, where they started to bow up and fight back. And I think Hubert Davis, I remember him telling me this before that last Duke game in Cameron, Coach K's last game in Cameron. He said he had told the team, I think it was some sort of Bible verse. You can tell how much I'm reading the Bible these days. But he said we have to plant our feet, stand our ground, and fight. And that's who they've been ever since. And they're very good. They're not playing like an 8 seed. I know that. And they're formidable because they have size. And they made St. Peter's look, frankly, like a MAC team, which they didn't look like against Purdue and Kentucky and Murray State. They looked a lot better than that. And Carolina made them look pretty average. I mean, they didn't even score 50 points in that game. Didn't even threaten to score 50. Carolina took them apart. It wasn't even close.